Hare Krishna everyone. I'm going to share my screen now. All right. Can we get started everyone?
Yes, Mataji.
Wonderful. Thank you so much everyone for joining today's Govinda session. Today we are going to look into the story of Jataparata. We are going to revise our Bhagavatam stories. In that process, we are going to see about Jataparata. Okay? Bharat Maharaj first and then Jataparat later. So in today's session, we'll be focusing on the King Bharat. That is Bharat Maharaj. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Okay, we will get started with our prayers. 1 second. I'm so sorry. Okay. Just want to make sure my video is on. Om Ajnana
Timirandasya
Nananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Namaha Nama Om
Vishnu
Padaya
Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve
Sati
Gauravani
Devi Gauravani Pracharine
Nirvishesha
Nirvitesha
Shunyavadi
Sunyavadi
Paschayata Deshatarine
Jatatarine
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Gadadara
Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Rama Hare
Rama Hare
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, can we go to our verses for today's session?
Okay.
अथ चैन्यं नित्यजातं नित्यं मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं
Pitam
महाभागो नैनं
Mahabhagavani
शोचितुम्
Sochitum
अर्हसि.
Arhasi.
Does somebody want to repeat?
Ramachandra,
Balram?
Ramachandra.
Okay. Can we? Yeah, Balram first, Ramachandra next, and Samskriti after that. Okay. Balram first. Go ahead, Balram.
नित्यं वामन्यसे मृत तदापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं सूचितुमर्हसि.
First, next Ramachandra. After that, Balavrinda.
अतचैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मनसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि.
Wonderful. Samskriti and then Balavrinda. Yeah. So after Samskriti, you can go ahead, Balavrinda.
Atachainam nityajatam nityam vamanyase mritam tatapi tvam mahabaho nainam sochitum arhasi. Thank you, Mataji.
Wonderful. Balavrinda.
Mataji, which sloka is this?
Atachain.
Atachainam nityajatam nityam vamanyase mridam daravi tvam mahabhaho nainam sochitum arhasi. Thank you, Mataji.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vrinda. Okay. And Rudra, do you want to recite?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead.
Nityajatam nityavamanyase mritam tatapi tvam mahabhaho nainam sochitum arhasi.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Rudra. Samskriti, you did say the verse, right?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Can we go on to the next verse? Yamina vyatayante te.
Te
We have to
purusham
go through the
purushas.
translation. Can somebody recite the translation? I forgot. We have to recite that one. Who's this?
She can Shri.
Shri. Okay, go ahead, Shri.
Can Sivya recite Mataji? Can Ovi say after Shri?
Okay, after Shri, Ovi.
Can Sivya say after Ovi Mataji?
Okay, yes, you keep the order. Sivya after Ovi. Okay,
If,
can you go
however,
through?
you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, Almighty Aunt.
Wonderful. Ovi? Ovi, do you
Okay.
want to recite?
If however you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, Almighty Aunt.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji.
Sivya?
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. How about Sivya?
If, however, you think that the soul or the symptoms of life will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, Almighty Aunt.
Wonderful. All right, so we'll go on to the next verse. Yam hina vyatayante te purusha purusha shabha samadukha
Sukam Dhiram Somutadvaya Kalpate.
kalpate. Who wants to go?
Ramachandra wants to say, Mataji.
Ramachandra, can you give some chance to others? Maybe if somebody else is Rudra, you have Neha. How about Neha? I'm just giving chance for everybody. Neha?
Yeah, at least I went once.
Yamina vyatayante te.
Purusham Purusharshaba Yamadukha Sukham Dhiram Somritatvaya Kalpate. Actually, my name is Ishan, but my name keeps on switching to Neha.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ishan. Okay, Ramachandra, go ahead.
Yam hinartayante te purujam varashashaba samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate.
Okay, anybody else who has not chanted before? Prahlad, go ahead, Prahlad.
Yam hina vidyante te purusham purushashaba Yamadukha Sukham Dhiram Somitadvaya Kalpate.
Okay, does anybody? Okay, all right. Okay, can we move on to the translation? Can somebody recite the translation?
Can Samskriti?
Samskriti, go ahead. Then Balaram.
O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation.
O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both certain eligible for liberation.
Wonderful. Can we go on to the story of Bharat Maharaj?
Mataji, have we ever heard this story?
Yes, we have heard the story. In fact, this is a revision class. I'm going to revise what has been already. Okay, good. I'm just going to give you some revision because you know that we have tests that you will be preparing for, right? Bhagavatam stories, you will be preparing some test that is going to come up maybe after 2 weeks, I guess. You will be having a test on Bharat Maharaj, then Ajamil story, and then Chitraketu story. So we are going to make sure that you all remember these stories that we have taught you in the past. All right?
Okay.
So with that, we will get started with Bharat Maharaj. So I'm just going to recollect some concepts and then I'll ask you some questions to see if you remember from what I have taught or whatever you remember from previous classes. Okay? All right. So Bharat Maharaj, he is the eldest son of Rishabhadeva. And Rishabhadeva, he was an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Bharat, again, if you look at Rishabhadev, he had many sons who are Mahabhagavatas, who are Kshatriyas. Among the Kshatriyas, he chose Bharat Maharaj because he was an exalted devotee of the Lord. Because when we know, we have studied about kings, right? A king has to be perfect. Not only perfect when it comes to his material administration, but he should be a perfect devotee of the Lord. What happens when he is a perfect devotee of the Lord? He makes sure that the citizens also know about God and the process of devotional service. And that is why a king has to be a good ruler, not only in terms of administration, but also spiritually, so that all others who depend on him for his livelihood, for their livelihood, they all know about God, and that they all can attain the perfection of life by going back to Godhead. And Rishabhadev, he wanted to make sure that his son had all the qualities of not only being a good administrator, but then he wanted his, he knew that Bharat Maharaj was a very pious devotee of the Lord. And that is why that is why he selected him as the ruler. Okay. And we also know that in the battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna favored the side of Pandavas because they were on the side of Dharma. In that process, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was chosen to be the supreme emperor of the planet. And that was the will of the Lord. And here in this case, Bharat Maharaj chosen as a ruler is also a will of the Lord. Okay. Bharat Maharaj's activities. What all activities did he perform? He was a very learned and an experienced king on his earth. He perfectly ruled the citizens, being engaged himself in his own respective duties. Bharat Maharaj was very very affectionate to the citizens as his father and grandfather had been. Keeping them engaged in their occupational duties, he ruled the earth. What does occupational duty means? Depending on the varna and ashrama, one has to perform their prescribed duties. And Bharat Maharaj, he kept Krishna in the center and made sure that all the citizens were engaged in the prescribed duties by having Krishna in the center. And that is why he was considered a very good ruler. Then moving on to the next slide, it is said that he performed sacrifices known as Agnihotra, Chaturmasa Pasu Yajna, and Soma Yajna. All these, if you see these are all yajnas. These are not for the fulfillment of the demigods, but he made sure that all these yajnas were done for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Lord Krishna. Okay, some people, they may want to have some sense gratificatory desires and they may perform yajnas. I want to go to heavenly planet. I want to enjoy with so and so. I want to have this desire. So there could be multiple desires a person could have. Because of that reason, they could perform a sacrifice. But in the case of Bharat Maharaj, he wanted to perform this. He didn't have any material desires in him. His only focus was to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and just to fulfill that, just to fulfill and give pleasure to him, he did these sacrifices. Are you all with me so far, kids?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, good job, good job.
Yes, Mataji.
So moving on, how long did he enjoy all this? See, whenever you are a ruler, you are a king, you are filled with so much opulence, right? There is so much that you can do. There, everything that you want, you will have as the king, because you are ruling the planet Earth. Imagine how much opulence he has and how much he was filled with a lot of material opulence around him. And he enjoyed the opulence of the maternal home for how many years? So if you look at the number, as you all can see, 1,000 times 10,000 years he enjoyed the opulence. And after that, what happened? He wanted to engage himself completely in the devotional service, and therefore he divided his wealth between all his sons that his forefathers had given him, and he wanted to get going to Pulhashrama, which is in Haridwar. Okay, so can you all imagine a person? See, for example, if you are all staying in a house, and say, for example, in a big palatial house, and then you want to move on to a hut or even a one-bedroom apartment. How much, there could be a lot of feelings in your heart. Oh my God, I had swimming pool, I had access to so many things, but now I don't have access to anything because it's just a one-bedroom house. I don't even have a study table for myself. So you'll be filled with so much of thoughts because you are used to living a lifestyle of be living in a big house, and now if you have to go into a smaller apartment, then it's going to create some inconveniences because of the attachment that you have developed. But in the case of Bharat Maharaj, he was able to easily detach himself from the opulence. That is the point that we have to note down here. Even though he had so much opulence, when it came to renouncing himself from that opulence, he was ready to give it up and then go to Haridwar to perform his austerities in devotional service. So that was how Bharat Maharaj was. He was completely detached. He didn't have any material desires per se. And then when it came to renouncing, he was open to the idea of renouncing. Okay, now this was taught earlier, and I just want to know, do you all know who Bharat Maharaj is? Just to keep you fresh, I want to ask you some questions before we move on to our next session. So we all know who Bharat Maharaj is, right? Who was he? He was the son of Prahlad and Rishabhadev. Wonderful. How long did he enjoy the opulence?
1,000 plus
10 million. 10 million times.
Times. Wonderful, wonderful. Was he able to detach himself from the opulence?
Yes.
Where did he go to? Where did he go to?
Haridwar.
Haridwar, correct. Kulha Ashrama. Was he a devotee of the Lord? Yes, that is the right answer. So you have all listened very carefully. I'm so impressed with your answers. Can we move on to the next session? We'll discuss about how did he renounce. Okay. In the ashrama, Bharat Maharaj, he was living alone. He collected variety of flowers, twigs, and tulasi leaves. He also collected the water of the Gandaki river, as well as the various roots, fruits, and bulbs. With these, he offered everything to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and by worshipping him, he remained very satisfied. Okay. Consequently, what happened? He he lost all the attachment for his regulative duties. What are the symptoms that were showing in him? His heart melted. He gradually lost all attachments for regulative duties. His hair stood up on the end out of joy. Tears flowed out of his eyes. He constantly meditated on the reddish lotus feet of the Lord. His heart was like a lake which was filled with water of ecstatic love, and he even forgot the regulative service to the Lord. So like this, his ecstatic symptoms were shown on him. Okay, what were some of the symptoms? Can somebody say? Can somebody say what were all some of the ecstatic symptoms he showed while he was in the ashrama?
His hairs of his body stood on end, and there's tears in his eyes.
Correct. Yes. Then he constantly meditated on what? The lotus, the reddish lotus feet of the Lord. Then his heart also melted. Okay, in the process, his heart also melted, and he gradually lost all the attachment for the regulative duties. Remember, previously he was involved in doing his prescribed duties as a king, but through this process, he slowly started to gradually lose all his attachment for his prescribed duties also. Can you please mute if possible? Okay, now we are going to understand what is renunciation. Renunciation, what is it? It means you have to accept those things that are favorable for devotional service and reject those things that are unfavorable for devotional service. And at the end, you have to surrender to Lord Krishna. So this is what renunciation is. Okay. Now we are going to talk about some examples to see what is actually renunciation and whether it is favorable for whether it's favorable for devotional service or whether it is unfavorable for devotional service. Can we look at some of the examples? And there is also another question. So if we keep ourselves inactive, what happens if we are idle and if we don't engage ourselves in any activity? Will the spirit soul be happy?
No.
Correct. So the spirit soul, it always wants to engage in an activity. And Lord Krishna says one can never be idle even for a minute. Even in Bhagavad Gita, if you look at it, Krishna, when Arjuna asked this question, do you want me to renounce completely from an activity? Or do you want me to enjoy in an activity, Krishna? I don't understand. I'm so confused. Can you enlighten me in this process? Then Krishna says, you have to engage yourself in your prescribed duty. That is what you need to do. And you should not renounce or not perform any activity. That is not a good idea. That is his instruction in Bhagavad Gita. And as you all can see, we understand that we have to we have to follow the prescribed duties. That is 4 varnas and 4 ashramas are there. We all know that Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudras is how, it is in day-to-day lives. If you look at, the Shudra is the one who works under somebody. It could be some IT job, engineering job, and so on and so forth. Vaishyas, as you all know, they are farmers, merchants and business class people. And in the modern days, they own businesses, they own some shops, and that is Vaishyas. And we have Kshatriyas, who are warriors, policemen and administrators. And Brahmanas, they are preachers with ISKCON. They spread the holy name, they spread the glories of the holy name to the whole world. They are the preachers of ISKCON, and they are the Brahmanas. And again, it is not according to one's birth that they are classified, but it is according to their own nature that this classification is based on. So depending on one's natural disposition and the nature, that is the swabhav, that is the swabhav that determines the classification of the varna ashramas. Okay. All right. And here we are seeing, since we are talking about renunciation is, as I told you, you have to be engaged in an activity that is favorable for Krishna consciousness, and you have to reject all those activities that are unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. And then in that process, you have to surrender to the Lord. And we all know about Prahlad Maharaj, how completely renounced he was, how he was observed in chanting the holy names of the Lord and be engaged in the process of devotional service. When you are doing actions favorable for Krishna consciousness, as I told you, that is renunciation. And Prahlad Maharaj was an excellent example of that process. See, here we have some examples. Conducting Bhakti Viksha home programs. Is this favorable or unfavorable?
Favorable.
Wonderful. Favorable. How about distributing books?
Favorable.
Favorable. How about distributing prasadam?
Favorable.
Good job. How about enacting the pastimes of the Lord and memorizing slokas that glorify the Lord? Good job. How about eating prasadam?
Favorable.
How about watching movies and songs?
Favorable.
How about showing respect to grown-ups and parents?
Favorable.
Favorable. How about bullying others or not treating others well? Unfavorable. How about not listening to parents?
Favorable.
No. Not listening to parents is unfavorable, right? And doing kirtan at home is favorable. Lying about something, how about that?
Unfavorable.
Unfavorable. And creative activities during Krishna Janmashtami, making some craft for Krishna, reading books for the devotees, all that is favorable. Wonderful. So now till now we have seen how Bharat Maharaj, how he was able to renounce from his opulence and how he was showing ecstatic symptoms while he was meditating on the personality of Godhead. What happened suddenly? Let's see that. Okay, so we all know Bharat Maharaj, he was on the bank of Gandaki river, and one day after finishing his morning duties, Bharat Maharaj sat down on the river Gandaki and he began chanting the mantra beginning with his Omkara. Okay, now what happened? A thirsty dog came. While she was drinking water, she heard the frightful roar of a lion and became very afraid and suddenly leaped across the river though she had not yet quenched her thirst. Now what happened? The doe's miscarriage and death. The doe was pregnant, and when she jumped out of here, her baby fell from her womb into the flowing waters. Being separated from its flock and distressed by the miscarriage, the black doe fell down in a cave and died. So because of this, what happened? Bharat Maharaj, seeing the small fawn floating down the river, felt great compassion and lifted it from the waves. Knowing it to be motherless, he brought it to the ashrama. Okay, this is what Bharat Maharaj did. Bharat Maharaj, he was so, compassionate as he saw this fawn was floating in the river, and out of compassion, he took that fawn with him and he brought him to his ashrama. Till now, he was doing his devotional service very correctly, perfectly. But on seeing this one, he got distracted because of his compassionate nature. So now he began to neglect his sadhana. Okay. Bharat Maharaj began to raise, maintain, and protect and care the deer as if it was his own child, like that. In that way, he gave up his rules and regulations and gradually started to neglect towards the worship of the Lord. After a few days, he forgot everything about his spiritual advancement. So that was his state of condition. Because of the deer, because of this fawn, he got distracted and he forgot his higher goal, which is self-realization and going back to Godhead. Instead, he became compassionate to the fawn and started taking care of the fawn as if it was his own. In that way, he lost his, he completely lost touch to the process of devotional service, and he neglected his roles and responsibilities, and he also forgot about the rules and regulations that he had to follow. So he always had this thought of the deer going on in his mind. It is helpless, it is alone, having lost its relatives by the force of time. It has taken my shelter and I have to give him full faith and dependence. It is my duty to take care of him. It was my duty to save him. And as a protector, since she has nobody, I have to be responsible for whatever she does. That was his thought process. And due to this attachment, he lay down, walked about, bathed, and even ate with it. His heart became bound to the deer with affection. Fearing the ferocious animals might kill him, Bharat Maharaj took it with him whenever he went to the forest. In the forest, he would carry the deer on its shoulders and sometimes keep it on its lap when sleeping or on his chest. He felt great bliss by petting that animal. While he was worshipping the Lord, he would at intervals get up and see whether the deer was there. Seeing it, he would be satisfied and blessed, saying, "My dear calf, may you have all happiness in all respects." And sometimes, not seeing the deer, his mind would become very agitated, like a miser who lost his wealth. When the deer was gone, he would be filled with anxiety and would lament in separation. Thus, he became illusioned because of the deer. So can you all see what was going on Bharat Maharaj's story? He was completely able to renounce all his opulence, but then on seeing compassion and on being compassionate towards this deer, he lost track of his spiritual path, and he completely became susceptible to the illusion, and he thought that taking care of the deer was his responsibility, and he neglected his higher responsibility of self-realization. So can you all see this? So from compassion, there came attachment. And as the attachment deepened, he cared so much for the little deer. The attachment deepened because whenever he was not seeing the deer also, he got frightened. Oh, what happened to the deer? Did the lion pick him up? Did somebody took him away? Did I not give enough protection? Like that, he started to ponder about, like that he started to contemplate while the deer was not seen. Bharat Maharaj, he forgets his purpose. He forgot all his spiritual duties, and his only purpose was now to take care of this deer. That was his sole responsibility. That's what he thought. And at the time of death, his final, as you all know, whatever thoughts we have during the time of death, that is what we become. So Bharat Maharaj was completely engrossed in the thoughts of the deer during his time of death, and that is why he became deer in his next life. So is the attachment not good at all, kids? Is the attachment good? Is it good to have attachment, or it's not good to?
Not good to have attachment.
You can have attachment,
But
but you have to stay in your devotional service.
Correct. It is good to have, see, whenever we are in a family relationship, we have to have Krishna in the center. Okay. When we have Krishna in the center and say that we are going to follow the will of Krishna, no matter what, then that relationship is good relationship. If Krishna is in the center, everything is good. If we are Krishna, and if we try to fulfill the instructions of Krishna, then that is good. So that spiritualizes our relationship. So between a father and a mother, so the mother might look at a child as a Vaishnava and serve the kid as a Vaishnava. That way her relationship is purified. Similarly, the child, he can look at his father as a spiritual master, seek advice from him. If he is also a devotee, the child will automatically look up to him for any kind of suggestions he might have to do. Like, you might be in a situation where you might be bewildered and say, Dad, I'm not sure how I should react in a particular situation. What does Krishna say? Then your dad will then give you an instruction based on Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he say, this is what a devotee has to do, and you follow this. So when you make a relationship spiritualized by having Krishna in the center, then that purifies the attachment that we have. Even material things, if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, say for example, there is laptop. This laptop can be involved in Zoom meetings with you. I can have Zoom conversations. I can talk to you about Krishna consciousness subjects. And this way, this material object is used for a spiritual thing. And that way, this even looking at this material object, I am not bewildered. Okay. Because I'm having Krishna in the center, this spiritualizes the activity that I perform, even though it is a material object. Like that, if we have Krishna as a center and do things to satisfy Krishna, to do things for the pleasure of Krishna, then everything is that is what is expected. In this way, that relationship also gets purified, and our consciousness also gets purified in the process. Okay, kids, are you all with me so far?
yes,
So
Mataji.
in Bharat Maharaj's case, his compassionate nature is a good nature, but he forgot his higher purpose, that is his goal of self-realization. His goal was to go back to Godhead. When his higher goal gets smashed by this compassionate nature, then that's not good. See, the deer is not going to get, it cannot become Krishna consciousness. You can't feed knowledge to the deer. You can't have him memorize the slokas. You can't preach to him. So there is no point. If there was some individual, then, you could spread Krishna consciousness. But deer, in that case of deer, you can't do anything with the deer. So what's the point? You are materially attached to the deer, and that doesn't lead you anywhere. In fact, you are going to become a deer in your next life because of this attachment to the deer. And that is the lesson we learned through this story. Okay. Thank you, kids. With this, we are going to end today's session. And in the next class, you will be seeing about Jeta Bharat and what happens to Bharat Maharaj, what happened to him. All that you will be seeing in your next class with Padmasati Mataji. Now, Vrinda Mataji will take over and she'll have you recite some slokas. Thank you all so much, kids. Have a good Krishna conscious day. Bye.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, where is Vrinda Mataji? Vrinda Mataji, are you with the name of Akshita?
Bye.
Hi.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, kids.
Vrinda Mataji is not here. Would you like to do that, Mataji?
Okay, what, Mataji?
The sloka that she have to do. I don't know.
Okay, Mataji.
I think
I just need the
Apriti Mataji speak.
yeah. It was only, they did only 3. How many shlokas did your kids do last week? 4 or 3?
I think we went to 4 or 5. We did
4 and 5 together, right? Then it will be 6.
Shloka.
Shrilasya Chandanitapalidhama.
Let me do something.
I think it was 6, Mataji, number 6.
Number 6. Okay. Mataji, can you
Hare
speak?
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Radhika Mataji? Hello?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Can you screen 15:6 on your
Yes,
screen?
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Mataji, are we doing Kahoot now?
Mataji, we're doing Kahoot?
No, not today.
No, sloka.
Yeah, because someone was saying we're doing Kahoot.
Mataji, I did screen the sloka. Can you all see?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, do you want me to recite?
Yes, Mataji.
न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
You can go sentence by,
Oh, न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः
शशाङ्को न पावकः
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
यद्गावनवर्तन्ते
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
यद्गत्वानवर्तन्ते
तद्धाम परमं मम.
तद्धाम परमं मम.
न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो
न तद्भाषते सूर्यो
न शशाङ्को न पावकः
न शशाङ्को न पावकः
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
यद्गत्वा न
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
तद्धाम परमं मम.
न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो
न तद्भाषते सूर्यो
न शशाङ्को न पावकः
न शशाङ्को न पावकः
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
न निवर्तन्ते
तद्धाम
तद्धाम
परमं मम.
परमं मम.
One more time, can we repeat?
Yes, Mataji.
न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो
न तद्भाषते सूर्यो
न शशाङ्को न पावकः
न शशाङ्को न पावकः
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते
तद्धाम परमं मम.
तद्धाम परमं मम.
Does somebody want to recite this?
Nope. Can I try, Mataji?
Sri Krishna, yes, go ahead.
Okay. न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
How about Chandana?
न तद्भाषयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
Can Ramachandra say Mataji?
Rishikesh, can you raise your hands so that I see your names? So I'm giving chance to whoever has not recited yet. Yes, Balavinda. After Rishikesh, you can go.
न तद्भासेते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. Thank you,
Balavrinda, thank you so much, Rishikesh.
न
Natad.
तद्भासेते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः तद्धाम निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Balavrinda. Munish,
न तद्भासेते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
wonderful. So can we move on to our next sloka? Mataji, how many slokas? All right. Mamaivamso jivaloke
ममावांसो जीवलोके
जीवभूत सनातनः
जीवभूतः सनातना
मनश्शस्तानि इन्द्रियाणि
मनश्शास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
ममैवांसो जीवलोके
ममावांसो जीवलोके
जीवभूत सनातनः
जीवभूतः सनातनः
मनश्शस्तानि इन्द्रियाणि
मनश्शास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
ममैवांसो जीवलोके
ममैवांसो जीवलोके
जीवभूत सनातनः
जीवभूतः सनातनः
मनश्शस्तानि इन्द्रियाणि
मनश्शास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
ममैवांसो जीवलोके
ममैवांसो जीवलोके
जीवभूत सनातनः
जीवभूतः सनातनः
मनश्शस्तानि इन्द्रियाणि
मनश्शास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Okay, from last time, whoever has raised their hand, Prahlad, can you go ahead? Go ahead reciting the words. Prahlad? Hi, Prahlad. Okay, Abhiram? How about Abhiram? Can you recite the words? Rishikesh, can you not hear me?
We can hear you, Mataji. We can hear you.
Okay, Sivya, go ahead, Sivya. I don't think Abhiram is...
जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनश्शास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Monish? Monish, can you recite the sloka?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, go ahead.
ममेवांसो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनश्शास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Okay, Abhiram, are you able to hear me?
Mataji, Balavrinda.
Balavrinda, go ahead, Balavrinda.
ममैवांसो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनश्शास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति. Thank you, Mataji.
Wonderful.
Ramachandra say
Yes, Ramachandra, go ahead.
ममेवांसो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःशास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Aditya? Go ahead. Aditya, go ahead and recite the verse.
Okay. ममैवांसो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनःशास्त्राणि इंद्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति.
Good job. Okay, I have given turn to everybody, right? Abhiram, did you still want to recite? Okay, Shri Krishna, did you finish reciting the sloka? We'll move on to the next verse if so. Shri Krishna,
Yes, Mataji.
can you recite?
Okay, Mataji. Mamaivam so jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana manasastani indriyani prakristani karshati.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay.
Shariram yadavapnoti
Shariram yadavapnoti
yechapi ukramit matishwaraha. Shariram, sorry. Yechapi sorry, somebody recite this? Yechapi ukramatishwaraha. Aditya, do you want to recite this sloka? Grihit vaitani samyati. Grihit vaitani samyati. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Ivashayat. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Shariram yadavapnoti. Yaschapi utkramatishwaraha. Grihit vaitani samyati. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Shariram yadavapnoti. Yatchapi utkramatishwaraha. Grihit vaitani samyati. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Ivashayat, I'm sorry. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Shariram yadavapnoti. Yachapi ukramatishwaraha. Ukramatishwaraha. Grihit vaitani samyati. Vayur gandhan ivashayat. Aditya, can you recite this?
Okay. Shariram yadavapnoti yechapyuktramatishwarah grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat.
Divya, can you recite?
Ramachandra.
Yeah, Ramachandra, go ahead. After that, Divya.
Yechapyuktramatishwarah grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat.
Ramachandra?
Shariram yadavapnoti yachapya ukrama. Oh, Shariram yadavapnoti yachapya ukramatishwaraha grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat.
Ramachandra did. Shri Krishna?
Shariram yadavapnoti yachapi ukramatishwarah grahit vaitani samyanti vayurgandhan ivashayat.
Okay, all right. So So can we move on to the next verse?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I guess one sloka or two sloka only they are learning, Mataji, not this many sloka.
Oh, okay, Mataji. I don't know the
That's
process.
okay. Anyway, today time was there. That's why I did not say you anything. But
Okay.
anyhow, it's like closer to 7, then we can close it, Mataji.
Okay, maybe one more sloka and then we'll close it off, Mataji. Shotram chakshu-sparshanam cha.
Stotram chakshur
Sparshanam cha. Shotram chakshu-sparshanam cha. Can you all unmute and say Shotram chakshu?
Stotram chakshu
Sparshanam cha. Rasanam granam eva cha. Adhishtaya manaschayam.
Adhishtaya manaschayam
Vishayanupasevate.
Vishayanupasevate
Shotram chakshu sparshanam cha. I'll say two at a time. Shotram chakshu sparshanam cha.
Stotram chakshu parshanam cha
Rasanam granam eva cha.
Rasanam gramam cha
Adhishtaya manaschayam.
Adhishtaya manayam
Vishayanupasevate.
Vishayanupasevate
Shotram chakshu sparshanam cha.
Stotram chakshu parshanam cha
Rasanam granam eva cha.
Rasanam gramam eva cha
Rasanam granam eva cha.
Rasanam gramam eva cha
Rasanam granam eva cha.
Rasanam granam eva cha
Adhishtaya manaschayam.
Adhishtaya manasayam
Adhishtaya manaschayam.
Adhishtaya manasayam
Vishayanupasevate.
Vishayanupasevate
Shotram chakshu sparshanam cha.
Stotram chakshu parshanam cha
Rasanam granam eva cha.
Rasanam gramam eva cha
Adhishtaya manaschayam.
Adhishtaya manasayam
Vishayan upasevate.
Vishayanam upasevate
Shotram chakshu sparshanam cha.
Stotram chakshu parshanam cha
Rasanam granam eva cha.
Rasanam gramam eva cha
Adhishtaya manaschayam.
Adhishtaya manasayam
Vishayan upasevate.
Vishayanam upasevate.
Can somebody say this now?
Can I, Mataji?
Ramachandra, go ahead.
Rotam chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam granam cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate.
Okay, Samskriti.
Stotram chakshu parshanam cha rasanam eva cha adhishtayam manaschayam vishanan upasevate.
Very good, Samskriti. Next, who wants to say? Oh, sorry, who's raising their hands? Aditya? Sri Krishna?
Okay. Yeah. Shrotam chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam ghanam cha adhisthaya manashayam vishayanupasevate.
Sri Krishna?
Mataji, okay. Srotram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam granameva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate.
Who else wants to recite? Abhiram? Okay. Srilasya, do you want to recite? Okay. Mataji, can we conclude today's session then?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. All right. Can we all say Vacha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much, kids. Hare Krishna. Bye. See
Thank
you
you,
all next
Mataji.
week.
Hare Krishna. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.